Hello everybody. So, I apologize for not uploading recently. This is not because I didn't want to, but because I have been just busy and my Wi-Fi was out. So, it started going out a couple nights ago, so I didn't record that night. And then obviously I went to work and I came home and it was still out the next day. So for about a day and a half I had no internet. So that was fun, but hey, life happens. But I'm back now. This is going to be a little bit of news. I just wanted some housekeeping real quick, as maybe another show you might watch says. But I've gotten some few comments on the last couple episodes, and I'm glad you guys like the content that I'm putting out. I noticed that there's a real like for trophies. The only problem with trophy stuff is it's very specific, and I there's just a lot more that I like than just trophies, and I like trophies. My friends all make fun of me for it, and that's half the reason I'm doing this, because I'm with a community that I know likes trophies like myself. Makes me feel a little bit less insane, because trying to explain to an average person why you like trophies is just forget about it. But anyways, that is not the topic of this video. This video is for PlayStation news, because I also love PlayStation. I know having love for a corporation is not exactly the best, but I love their games. They've gotten me through some tough times. I enjoy the single player action games. Not that I don't like multiplayer, but single player is my usual way to go. Anyways, let's actually get on to the news, shall we? So, the topic of this video I wanted to make about PlayStation's lackluster future, and I don't mean that it's necessarily lackluster, just that they're not giving us much to go off of. It's kind of frustrating. Really, all we have to look forward to at this moment is Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which are Bethesda games that are technically owned by Xbox and are a timed exclusive. We only had them for a year, and a year is just at that breaking point where it means something. In my opinion, maybe I could be wrong. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but when you go less than a year, it really doesn't make a difference. I mean, 3 months, I'll wait. 6 months, I'll wait. A year, well, that's a while, but I can probably still wait. Once you get a little above a year, that's when it kind of means something, but what I am talking about is first-party exclusives. Real, even second-party. We don't have any really coming up. Not that I can think of. I mean, we have the director's cuts, which I'll get into later, but we really have God of War and Horizon Forbidden West, which are both PS4 and PS5, which I like having more people being accessible to games, don't get me wrong. I'll get a little bit more of that a little bit later, but there gets to a point where you are withholding the potential of the game. It's not that it's going to make these games bad. Like, I'm sure these games are going to be great, but like there's things we literally don't know that could be better, but we won't be able to know if they're better or not. I'm laughing at my helicopter in the background at the moment, but anyways, I'm really hoping they have some type of PlayStation event coming up that shows us an outline of the future. I really don't care for these state of plays sprinkled in everywhere. It's kind of just when you kind of put in too much of one thing, it just kind of, it's not as special. I don't know how to explain that. It's kind of maybe not a good thing to like equivalent to. I don't even know if that's a word, but we all know I'm great with English. Anyways, but when you win a lot, for example, like a sports team, if you follow a sports team and they win a lot, you kind of get old of it, sick of it, I should say. And I mean, you don't really get sick of winning per se, but it doesn't feel the same. And it's kind of how I'm trying to relate it to these PlayStation events, because when they had the PS5 reveal, that was pretty insane. Like, I was genuinely hyped. Like, I haven't been that excited since I was like 4 and it was Christmas. So I don't like the direction of these. I hope they do a big event for their future, kind of like an E3 style. And I get why they didn't go to the E3. I can do a whole video on that, to be honest with you. But it's not that I don't think PlayStation has stuff up their sleeve, but I don't really want it to be sprinkled in constantly. I want an event. I want to have all laid out in front of me. I want to have those hype moments. I want God of War with an orchestra. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That E3 in 2016 was phenomenal. I mean, Last Guardian, Days Gone, God of War, Spider-Man. I mean, Horizon for Zero Dawn stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna get on the next topic because I could just go on forever on this. But I hope they get new games, and I'm a little worried about the mobile and PC focus. I'm not angry about PC at all. I mean, I don't really understand if it's gonna be day and date on PC stuff. Um, Personally, it doesn't make much sense. You're trying to sell a console, not a platform. If they were more like Microsoft's, it would make sense, but they're not. They've been pretty clear that they want to sell consoles. So my guess there is that they're gonna have like a. Kind of hoping, because just kind of as a fanboy, you kind of hope for this kind of stuff, but you hope those single player games will stay on console for like a year or two. Only a year or two. It's not too much longer, but just something to make PlayStation console sell. And then after about a year or two, you can port it on the PC, which is why they bought Nixus, and I'll get into that. But it just, I don't know. The mobile market is where I'm really frustrated with this, because I don't like mobile games. Like, they're just they're money grabs. I don't know. I'll end it there, because I have a few other things I want to go over, but anyways. So we have the Nixus acquired. This is interesting. I actually don't mind this very much. I kind of like this for multiplayer games specifically, because Sony kind of lacks in the multiplayer games. So it'd be cool to see them, get a multiplayer game on like ready, and then have Nixus go and make it for PC as well. Like The Last of Us Factions, that could easily be cross-gen, or not just cross-gen, but cross-platform. And that would make sense, because multiplayer games need that base. They need the large consumer base to thrive. And Insomniac is now making a multiplayer game too, and you have to imagine it's going to go on more than just PlayStation, because PlayStation fans generally, not everyone, is more single-player focused. So it's just bound to fail, like Destruction All-Stars and PlayStation All-Stars and whatnot. The games that do succeed on PlayStation that are multiplayer are usually cross-platform, or have a following on multiple platforms. So that'd be cool. I'm wondering if they're going to use Nixus to port onto PS5 as well, PS4 games on the PS5. The next topic I want to discuss and just kind of yell my feelings out there for is the director's cuts. And I like the name. I'm definitely sold on the name. I'm definitely a sucker for this. Director's cuts is a phenomenal name for it. I mean, just like a Zack Snyder's super. I'm blanking right now, but you know what I'm talking about. The Justice League. That was an amazing cut. So I think they're playing off that. They're playing off that, getting more stuff. So it's like a director's cut type of thing, and it makes sense for Death Stranding. But interestingly enough, Kojima actually doesn't like the name director's cuts, and I get it, because you're not taking something that was already there and taking it out and putting it on later. It's something that they added on afterwards. So he said director's plus ? And I thought that was pretty funny. I had to mention that here. But now Ghost of Tsushima is a director's cut as well, and I'm just not totally sure how I feel about this whole director's cuts thing. Not necessarily the name, or even like I get remakes and stuff is gonna happen. Like, that's fine, but I don't like how they're kind of doing the prices of these, because it does feel like a cash grab. And Sony, for a while, for me at least, it didn't feel like they were a corporation. I knew they wanted my money. That's all they want. That's fine. But you need to hide it. You need to hide it a little better. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong on this. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima is worth the $30 upgrade. But it just seems like a lot. Like, DLC in general, I know, is usually $20, and then they want to have a PS5 upgrade, so that's $10. Fine, $30, I get it. But that's half the price of the original game. Like, it just seems kind of weird. Like, if you bought it for $60 and now you want to get the PS5 edition with the DLC, you're not paying $90 altogether. Maybe I'm just a complainer. I actually personally don't mind the $70 price tag, but for a game that's already on, like, it's up. Just wanted to add that I don't like $70, but as long as you're able to wait, then I don't see any problem with starting at 70, because it's always going to go down. So that was what I was going at there. The PS4 game, it just seems kind of weird to do, but I do get it, because most games are thriving off or most publishers, I should say, are thriving off their multiplayer games, so Sony's trying to make up for it in some direction, but we've seen their numbers money-wise, and they're doing just fine, so I'm not as mad as most people about this stuff, but I don't know, it just seems a little fishy to me. Now we got Cyberpunk, and I want to bring this up because it's actually sold the most in June, and that's interesting because I'm pretty sure it came out on June 21st, so that means people don't care if a game is bad. they will buy it. And I thought that was a very interesting take from somebody I was talking to, and they were like, yeah, it just shows that people don't know what they're doing. And it's like, that's not, I don't know if that's necessarily completely true, but it does kind of show that most gamers don't pay attention to this stuff or don't care. I mean, they just want to play a game, and especially one that's been advertised like Cyberpunk has. It kind of makes sense that they would do this, but it just seems weird that a game would sell so well. Apologize in the background information sound there. Even though it literally gives you a warning when you go to buy it, and it's like, do not buy this game. It does not run well on PlayStation 4. And it just seems very odd that they just don't care that it says that, and they'll continue to buy it anyway. So that's my take on that. You can argue me if you want. Hello everybody. I'm just going to split this video in half, and that's just because I kind of went on a rant on the second half of the video. Kind of ran on the rant the entire video, but as I was going through and editing this, I realized it was about 25 minutes, and that's kind of a long time for news, so I decided to split it in half. You know, I hate to be this guy, but if you did enjoy at least part of it, I would really appreciate a like, subscribe. If you hated it, dislike it. I mean, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. And any feedback you can provide to make these better would be fantastic. I'm not generally a big on the like and subscribe thing, but I didn't realize how much it's a big deal in the beginning when you're trying to grow a channel, because just getting that movement through your channel really kind of at least puts that opportunity out there for others to see it. And so that'd be greatly appreciated. If I ever do kind of get more popular, I would stop asking, but I think it's definitely a necessary step when growing a YouTube channel. So if you like it, I would really appreciate it. And thank you. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day.